The dream of life and death, a non-dual dialogue between a wise guru and a student, Mark. In a quiet garden at dusk, a grieving student, Mark, who lost his father, sits with a wise guru. Mark asks, with trembling voice, Guruji, "My father died a month ago. It's one moment he was here, solid real land, the next, his body was empty. They said his brain stopped instantly, but his heart kept beating. When did he, or his consciousness, leave? When did his awareness stop being his and return to that thing or no thing? Whatever's left there." Guru replied gently, "Tell me, son, when you dream at night, does the dreamed character truly die when you wake up?" Mark said no. The dream simply ends. The character never existed separately to begin with. Guru, with slight smile in face, replied, "Exactly. So the body-mind is like that dreamed character. Consciousness puts on the headset a virtual reality of thinking and perceiving. This is the moment of apparent localization of consciousness. Birth is the dawning of the VR headset. Death is its removal. But tell me, did the screen on which the dream appeared ever change?" Mark replied, "The screen stays untouched. But in my father's case, all of his suffering, his life, all those years, was it all just a flicker in awareness?" Guru said yes, and added, "Was the storm real to the dreamed character? Yet the storm never harmed the dreamer's being. Your father's essence, the awareness that witnessed his life, was never born, never died. The person you loved was a temporary localization, like a wave rising and falling back into the ocean. But can the ocean ever lose its water? The dreamed I never existed outside the dreamer's mind. Now tell me, when you hold an object in your hand, what is closer to you, the object or the awareness of the object?" Mark, in frowning way, said, "The awareness, I suppose. Without it, the object wouldn't be known." Guru, with slight smile and a face, "Good. Now apply this to your father. What is closer to him now, the absence of his body, or the awareness that knows even this absence?" There was utter silence. A bird calls in the distance. Now Mark again asks, "But Guruji, his personality, his jokes, his voice that's gone, that was him. How can you say it was just a dream?" Then Guru again asked him, "Did you ever experience your father's voice outside of your own awareness?" He said no, but he stopped and got confused. Then Guru again added, "Then your father's voice, his form, was always an appearing in awareness, like a wave appearing in the ocean, my son. The ocean doesn't mourn the wave. It is the wave, even as it subsides." Now Mark felt agitated and said, "Then why does it hurt so much? Why I cannot let go of that feeling?" Guru gently replied, "Because the VR headset is still on. You as the separate self feel loss. But the deeper you, the awareness that knows grief, is untouched. The mind believes I am this body, this story. Pain arises when awareness contracts around the thought I am separate. But tell me in your toad body experience, when you forgot human, planet, even language, what remained?" Mark replied, "Only boundless knowing, no me, no world. But then I forgot." Then Guru replied, "Exactly that forgetting is the price of the VR headset that consciousness pays. The moment consciousness contracts into thinking and perceiving, it seems to become a someone in a world. But this is like a character in a video game believing itself, separate from the electricity powering the screen." Guru again added, "And did that boundless knowing remain need a father, a past, or a future?" Mark said, "No, it is. Complete then," Guru revealed. "Yes, this is the secret actually. Consciousness never localizes. Only the mind, the activity of thinking and perceiving, creates the illusion of a separate I. Like a whirlpool seems separate from the river until the river slows and the whirlpool dies. But does the water vanish?" Mark again asks with curiosity, "No. But when does the whirlpool start? At conception, or at first breath?" Guru replied, "When the mind's activity arises as the thought I, whirlpool, started at that moment. Before that, there's just being pure and unborn. And your father's true nature is that being. The person you loved is that real being, appearing to itself as father." Mark added, "Then death is just the end of the appearance?" Guru just nods and says yes, like a movie ending. The screen doesn't care if it's playing tragedy or comedy. Then Mark confirms, "So is death just the end of the game?" "Now," Guru with smiling face said, "say me, did the electricity vanish when you switched off the game? Your father's true being is that electricity, timeless and spaceless?" The game was a play of light on its surface. Mark with tears in his eyes, "So how do I live with this?" Guru replied, "My son, play the game. But always remember you are the player, not the avatar. Grieve, love, stumble, yet recognize the screen beneath it all. Your father never left, simply stopped pretending to be separate. By asking, 'To whom does the grief appear?' trace the eye that suffers back to its source." Mark closes his eyes, then startled. Yes, Guru suffer vanishes. But something is still here, isn't? Guru smiled and said, "Yes, that something is you, your father, and everybody. That something is everything. The rest is just a mere story." There's a long pause. The student exhales. And the Guru pours tea. The steam rises and dissolves. The Guru said, "Tell me, when the steam vanishes, does the water argue with the air?" Mark laughed softly and said, "No, it just stops pretending to be separate," Guru replied. "Exactly, and tell me when the story ends. Does the paper mourn the ink?" Mark again laughs through tears and said, "No, the story was just a gift." Guru now smiled. "Exactly now. Let me tell you the book metaphor that make you more clear. Imagine a novel, and your father's life was a story written across its pages. The character in the book, so vivid and real as you read, believes in its own separateness. It laughs, it loves, it fears its ending. When the final page approaches, the character trembles. This is the end of me. But tell me, does the reader's mind, which holds every word of the story at once, ever come to an end?" Mark, now in hesitant manner, said no. The reader knows the whole story, even as the character only lives page by page. Guru replied, "Yes, precisely. The character's fear is real to the character. Just as your father's life and death felt real to the person he seemed to be, but the awareness in which his life appeared, the reader of his story was never bound by time, never confined to a single page." Mark: "So, the reader is like universal consciousness?" Guru: "Yes, and just as the reader's mind contains all stories past, present, future without being trapped in any of them, awareness holds every appearance without being limited by them." Guru again added, "So when your father died, it was only the closing of a chapter. The character's journey ended, but the knowing of the character, the vast silent reader, was never born and never died." Mark: "So, his fear of death, what is that?" Guru: "It was like the character fearing the last page, unaware that the reader's mind already knows the whole story. Your father's true being is that knowing the space in which his life arose, not the story itself." Mark: "Then is he still here?" "Yes," Guru answered. "Not he as the person, but as the awareness that knew him." Just as the reader's mind knows the character long after the book is closed, there is a deep pause for a moment. A bird sings in the distance, and finally Guru asked, "Now ask yourself, are you the character fearing the end, or the awareness reading the story?" Mark replied with hope and deep satisfaction in eyes, "Awareness reading the story." If you resonated with this narrative, we invite you to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such enlightening content. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, you are the universe experiencing itself.